All right, it's the Pop Tower Podcast. I'm Peter W. Dawson.
I'm James Bullock.
And, James, is it bright in here?
Oh, man. Peter, I have to ask you, though. Do you feel the electricity?
Tell you what, I definitely feel.
What?
The glow.
Oh.
For you see, James, I am the warrior.
Oh, man. We sound like you're on fire, son.
Yeah, well, remake's gonna remake. But you didn't expect me to say that. It's just a game. How long can I go before I throw you off? Anyway,
I know.
So today we're here to talk about TV and movies, although TV, again, it's really been being more and more operative. Like, it seems like more and more you have to distinguish between television and streaming.
Yes.
And so as you can guess when I say streaming, that means we're going to probably talk about a show, and odds are it's going to be on Netflix.
Exactly.
Which it is. We've talked about some stuff on other platforms, but it's mostly still been Netflix, and, well, they are producing...
Netflix is our go-to streaming.
Well, they're probably producing the most original content of the major stream services right now.
That actually is mostly decent.
Yeah, that's true. That's worth talking about, too. I mean, we got more and more coming. I mean, obviously Amazon Prime's still producing a few good ones. Like, I'm sure we'll talk about Season 3 of Man in the High Castle when that finally comes out.
Right.
Because they've said that's coming. And one thing I do want to do when that season finally starts is maybe talk about Doctor Who.
Oh, yes, yes.
Because I don't believe you watch that show much.
Not much, but I'm definitely familiar with it.
Yeah, so just going to tantalize people before we actually start talking about G.L.O.W.
Yes.
You know, the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
Yes.
Season 2.
Yes. Ah, G.L.O.W. Such a fabulous first season.
Absolutely. So, to quickly recap anyone who may not be familiar, G.L.O.W. is a fictional recounting of actual professional wrestling promotion G.L.O.W, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, from the 1980s. It's this very weird thing because it's not really a documentary, but a lot of the characters are based on real ones, just with completely new names, new stories, etc.
Right.
And but it does capture some of the captures like the feeling of the original series to a degree. I would say.
Well, I mean, one of the big things was that the owner actually was a consultant for the show, even starting the first season. So that understanding of what made G.L.O.W what it was is definitely there because the owners was a part of the whole environment, whole process.
Yeah. And so as a result, like, it captures the spirit of the 80s, it captures the idea of, like, you know, less conventional 80s feminism to a degree. Like, that's something that comes up more than once.
Yeah, I think it comes up a little bit more in Season 2 than it did in Season 1.
Yeah, like, it looks like it's going to be, if we get a Season 3, which I don't think they've confirmed, but...
I think it's perfectly safe to say, yeah, we're going to get a Season 3.
Yeah, because Season 2 has been fantastic, and then Season 1 was great. And, you know, it's got the star power, if nothing else, and it did get a couple of Emmy nominations.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but either way, as it stands, we're in pretty good shape with the show, and Season 3 in particular looks like it's going to be extra empowering. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But that's the premise, is you got basically a garage wrestling promotion that they're quickly trying to get a TV deal for to make it a thing, and so you see the struggles of this group with a very unconventional cast of characters.
Right.
Because, like, we have ex-strippers, people who basically have nowhere to go.
Right.
One person was homeless.
Yes. And one believes she's a wolf.
Yeah.
That's not her gimmick either.
No, that's her.
That's her.
And did she get as much to do this season?
No, because I think we had like a kind of like a breakthrough moment with her in the first season and understand who she is. And then it was like this season, well, everyone knows who she is, and now people actually like her for who she is, so she's just kind of there. Yeah,
like some other characters, though, who had a decent amount going on in Season 1, we got way more in Season 2.
Yeah.
It also happened, but, I mean, Alison Brie's Ruth, or Zoya the Destroyer.
Zoya the Destroyer.
I will never get sick of that.
I know. She is so good at that.
She really is good at playing, like, cheesy fake Russian.
Yeah.
I want to see an edited version of Rocky 4 where instead of Bridget Nielsen, it's Alison Brie as Zoya. That may be beyond technology.
Oh, man, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Just like do a shot for shot thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Just get Dolph Lundgren. I'm sure he'd appreciate the work. I know he's
Yeah.
going to be in Creed too, but
That would be awesome. I would love it.
yeah. And then, Betty Gilpin, who I was not familiar with. I think was she mostly doing soap operas before?
Yeah, no,
G.L.O.W?
I know she was on Nurse Jackie at one point
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because the whole thing is she's a former soap opera actress who kind of retired when she had her baby, and then she gets back into it and becomes Liberty Bell,
Yes.
the All-American whose medals actually belong to another wrestler.
Yeah. and I mean, like, the big thing, and this is not a spoiler because if you watch season 1, you know it, and even if it is a little bit for season 2, if you're just coming into it, I don't know why you would come into season 2 without watching season 1, but that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is that Ruth and Debbie were pretty much like best friends when the first season started.
Yep.
And they have a situation that pretty much Ruth is a homewrecker.
Yep.
And it's almost like Debbie has to try to get one up on Ruth when she finds out that Ruth's trying to become this wrestler. And all in all, Debbie becomes the face of the company.
Yeah. And Ruth struggles to be relevant because
Right.
she does have good ideas and everything, but probably the third most important character, Sam,
Yes.
Mark Maron's character, the guy who runs it, and is known for mostly doing terrible exploitation films.
Yes.
I'm sure they never name dropped him, but I'm sure him and Roger Corman go way back.
Yeah. But it's almost like he was one of those guys that was before his time. Because
Yeah.
there's like a part in the season where they have a little movie showing of one of his famous films, and the people that have never seen it are like so amazed by it. But back then it was considered a piece of crap.
Yeah, like he's almost, in a way, he's like a weird mix of, I want to say, Eli Roth and John Carpenter.
Yeah, yeah.
Part ahead of his time and part just the worst. No, it's not true. Eli Roth does have some redeeming qualities.
Yeah, he has a few. He tries. God bless him. Yeah. He tries.
No, I would take him over a bunch of other producers.
Definitely.
But I mean, that's kind of the point with Sam, because he's, in many ways, very self-destructive.
Yeah, and we actually see that in season 2, where it's almost like he sees camaraderie and he sees people trying to give ideas, and it's almost like he feels threatened. And he just goes against everybody and everything, and just kind of ruins situations for himself.
Yeah. But, yeah, there's a few more characters to quickly touch on. We get Carmen, who's Machu Picchu.
Well, she was really kind of pushed back this season. She was a big
She did,
focus.
but she... Mm-hmm.
No, I was saying she was a big focus in the last season because she's actually related to actual famous wrestlers in the story. So they kind of learned from her in a lot of ways in the first season about actually how to wrestle. Whereas this season she was kind of like, hey, I'm Machu Picchu, I'm the fun-loving person who has a crush on someone.
Yeah, and like that still matters.
Yeah.
Because like that's the main reason she's probably not entirely in the background. And that and the fact that, she's still the most experienced of the wrestlers.
Right.
Like, yeah, in terms of actual wrestling. But then we got Cherry, or is it Cherry or Sherry? I'm now blanking.
I think it was Cherry.
Yeah, I was pretty sure, because I know it's spelt Cherry, but for some reason I keep thinking it's still pronounced.
The funny thing about I think Sam says Sherry a lot. It is actually Cherry.
It made it just because he's terrible, though. Like, she actually has a bit of a storyline because she kind of quits.
Yeah, at the end of the first season, she got an offer. She got another job offer for an actual acting gig. Yeah. And she decided, I'm going to take it.
Yeah, and then, well, she's not out of the show. Let me put it that way.
Oh, but one of the best parts, and we can spoil this part, is the fact that they actually show her on her new job.
Oh, yeah.
And
I do not want to spoil that too much.
No, I'm not going to spoil the details. But I always say you have to be a great actor or actress to be able to pull off being a terrible actor or actress while making it look natural.
It's really hard. De Niro's really good at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Justine Scab, she obviously had important stuff to do because of Revelation from season 1,
right?
Which I guess we can tell.
Yeah, we can tell. I think it's season 1 now. We're in season 2. We find out who she's actually related to. Yeah,
she's Sam's long lost daughter, essentially. What?
I feel sorry. I still do feel sorry for that girl.
Okay, I was like, I said it was fine to spoil it, so I spoiled it. I thought you were upset I spoiled it. I'm like, no, that's a good point, though. Yeah, he is terrible. And, yeah, so obviously things get complicated there. And then, yeah, Rhonda, who's Britannica, she's still around. She kind of has an arc.
Yeah, Kate Nash's character.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably, she's not in the background as much as, like, Carmen is.
Right.
But she's probably middle of the pack right now.
Yeah, she has kind of like a big. She becomes kind of an important figure at the tail end of the season.
Yeah.
Whereas you really don't even know she's around the first half.
Yeah, it happens. But yeah, well, there's two more left from the main cast because like season 2, a bunch of them got promoted to main cast.
Yeah.
One of them, if she actually had something going on this season, I don't remember too much about it. Melanie.
Oh well, her whole gimmick this season was with Jenny Fortune Cookie. Just the racist names are ridiculous.
I know, yeah.
I know, but it's the 80s.
Yes,
I'm
they
sorry.
Are as racist as you think they
are.
I
know, it's the 80s. I love the fact that, because we have the Beirut Bomber, who, for some reason, Fortune Cookie and the Beirut Bomber are like best friends in the show. Because they're both just terrible racial stereotypes. But
can I just say... Oh, go ahead.
But what you say about Melrose? Like, really, her whole gimmick this season was she needs to get laid and she just can't. Like, that was her whole gimmick.
Right. Yeah, that was because I was saying, it's like, I don't think she really had much going on.
No, it was amazing. Like you said, she got promoted to main cast, and really, she is on the same level as Jenny, Fortune Cookie.
Yeah,
it was really no difference between those two.
And that's the one thing that frustrates me because Ellen Wong is amazing.
Yes.
And she deserves to be a main cast member.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil one of my favorite jokes of the season, but it was just a running gag of her being a stereotype while denouncing being a stereotype.
Yeah. And I gotta say, like, ever since Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, I've always thought she should have had more work.
Yeah, true. Very true.
And I still believe she needs more work. People, if you're listening, hire Ellen Wong.
Yeah.
But remember, she's Cambodian. Which I believe was a joke from season 1.
Yeah, I believe so. Actually, I think it actually flowed into season 2 as well. I remember she dropped that a couple times.
Oh, yeah, probably. Because they keep casting her as the Chinese villain.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, the last one, though, is I think she's worth, like, at least commenting on because Kia Stevens,
yes.
Karma / Awesome Kong / Amazing Kong, whatever, who I only just recently found out, apparently, found out her nickname when Shinsuke Nakamura told her.
Oh, yeah!
Because he just called her Kong backstage once, and she didn't realize that had officially been decided on her name yet.
Right.
So she nearly tried to fight him.
Right.
That would have been interesting.
Oh, that would have been hilarious.
Yeah, but she plays, okay, is it pronounced Tammy?
Yeah, no, just Tammy. I know it's weird, the spelling is weird, but it's just Tammy.
Yeah, and she's welfare queen.
Yes.
Because of course she is.
Of course.
Look.
Hey, no.
Just imagine the laziest stereotype.
The thing about it, if you have an ethnicity or nationality, it becomes a stereotype in this. You just gotta get used.
Yeah. And if you don't have one, steal one.
It's still... Zoya, I'm looking at you.
Yep. Just take your best Yakov Smirnov by the lady, and here you go.
But we can spoil like the big reveal of season at the end of season 1 when it comes to the welfare queen is the fact that she is the queen.
Yep, she steals the G.L.O.W crown to become the champion. Because as Sam rightfully points out, the thrill is in the chase.
Right.
I mean, do you really want to watch 10 episodes where everyone is happy?
And Liberty Bell is reigning supreme, smiling and waving at everyone.
Yeah. I know, it's like, no.
No, that is not exciting, which it is amazing. I'm not going to spoil this, but one of my favorite parts of the season actually involves both the Welfare Queen and Liberty Bell, where you kind of see that reality hit of, okay, we as human beings don't necessarily want to see what you think we want to see. Like, what's been pandered and kind of thrown at you for all these years doesn't really work in reality.
Yeah.
And I think one of the best reasons, the way they set that up was the fact that they actually gave Tammy's Kia's character pretty much her own episode.
Yeah, no, that was what I was getting to.
Yeah.
And that's a really good episode.
Very good, very good.
Like, I'm so glad Kia was up to snuff.
Yeah, like, she really, it just surprised me. Like, I knew she was a good actress, especially seeing her in season 1. But this time was just like, she has improved so much more than I could have ever imagined.
She was already pretty good, because, I mean, like, when she had to play her over-the-top character for so long, and, like, honestly, I'm just so happy to see her in all her success, especially after, everything that happened.
Right.
Behind, back in her past there, so I'm like, oh, thank God. Because I've only ever wanted good things for her.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed her.
I sound like a forlorn lover.
I know.
I have to clear my love for Ellen Wong and Kia Stevens this episode so far. We're off to a great start.
Yeah.
I stand by the Ellen Wong one, though.
No, I wholeheartedly agree for both people, because I was a little concerned. I was happy that she got picked as a part of the cast, but I was a little bit concerned because, of course, we've seen so many wrestlers try to be actors and be terrible at it. And she has just grown so well into being one of the most likable cast members of the entire show. Not even just because of the welfare cream just being a hilarious gimmick, the way she pulls it off, but we see like just how different of a person she is, and we see the dichotomy between her and Debbie and their lives and the way they handle the situation of being mothers. And it was just such an incredible showcase of how much sacrifice Tammy's character is given just to become a good person, a good mom.
No, absolutely. Like, she's probably the most improved from season 1 to season 2, and she was already good in season 1.
Right.
Like, she was one of the most developed supporting characters who didn't have much to do. Like, the only one arguably more developed were Rhonda, Justine, and Sheila.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, Cherry was already main cast, so I'm kind of not counting her. Ditto Carmen. But, like, everyone, of the people promoted in to main in season 2, she was probably one of the two who had the least amount. Her and Melrose.
Yeah.
Melrose still had a decent amount going on in season 1.
Oh, no. She definitely, she had more important, an important stance in season 1 than she did in 2.
Yeah, like, that's kind of the weird thing, is most of the people who got promoted didn't have as much to do.
Right.
Like, we still had a decent amount of the Justine-Sam dynamic, but Rhonda and Sheila and Melanie, despite being promoted main cast, actually probably had less to do this season.
Yeah, exactly.
But, and I do want to, because we're already kind of going long in the show, but these characters are amazing, and to quickly touch on the season's plot, like, the basic premise is they've taped their pilot episode, they had a good reaction, had all the drama, all the circumstance. Now they need to make it a series.
Right.
And there's a lot of pitfalls with that, because they got to do like the opening and everything, and then we just probably there's two things that stand out. What the heck is the name of the? I'm trying to think of the name of the episode.
The one where they
do it.
Well, the one they did the mall shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say either the second or the third episode.
Yeah. Because then there's the one that gets really surreal.
Yeah, okay, that was the one I wanted to talk about, which is one of my favorite episodes of the season, because it's not really a big spoiler. It's just one of those things that when you see it, you understand what's going on. I believe
Good Twin, that's the name of the episode.
Okay.
I was blanking because I couldn't remember how far into the season.
You're talking about the entire episode. I was thought you were talking about when they did the opening photo shoot where they tried to do the one at the mall and they were trying to work around people, and Zoya actually had people sign in release forms while they just quickly took pictures with them to try to make the opening credit sequence.
Yeah, that was good.
That was really fun.
One of the highlights for me, besides, like, we talked about some of the other stuff, with the whole episode with Welfare Queen, but, like, episode 8, The Good Twin.
Yes, that's the one I really wanted to touch on before we close out. This was, for those who don't know, or haven't seen the first season of Atlanta, there's an episode, I believe it's like the 6th episode, where they kind of pretend like it's a real thing, where they have Paperboy's character on a public access show. This is very similar to this, where we actually experience an episode of G.L.O.W. as if we were watching it.
Yeah. And, oh man!
How did you like the workout?
I'm still focused on the new character of Black Magic. Honestly, that's the part that stuck with me. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, and not only that, but in between, because there's a lot of skits. There's a lot of storytelling, a lot of skits through this episode. To, pretty much presented as if this was a real episode you're watching. And then they had matches in between, and the black magic match was just so absurdly G.L.O.W. Like, it was the perfect representation of the absurdity that was G.L.O.W.
You realize what needs to happen in season 3, right? Black Magic needs to meet the original Papa Shango.
Oh man, can we get a cameo?
That's a
guest star we need for that one?
I know a guy who knows him. I will totally ask him to somehow make that happen. Even though he has no power with Netflix or other studios or anything like that.
Just throw out this suggestion. Just throw it out there. Maybe something will click. He's like, oh man, that's a good idea. It worked for Chavo and Carlito.
It's funny because even like these shows that like, there's been a lot of shows that done it. Because like BoJack did the Christmas special,
right? Where
they mostly watched the Christmas special of BoJack Horseman,
exactly,
which was amazing, especially with how dark it gets.
Yeah.
And then what was it? They did. I'm just remembering. They also did that episode of Mr. Robot in season 2.
Okay.
Where it was entirely within his head, and he was trapped in like a sitcom version of reality, and Alf was just there, but it just seemed to work somehow because it was all just like his mental consciousness trying to protect him.
Right.
Like, I just love when shows do stuff like this for an episode, and they just do this weird experimental stuff, and it works so well.
It worked incredibly well. I was shocked because I was thinking that it was just like maybe a 5 or 10 minute part of the episode overall. I did not expect it to be the entire episode, and it still was awesome. I loved that episode.
You were allowed to go full crazy episode.
Yeah, it really was.
Now there's one thing I do want to touch on before we move on.
Okay.
And then if you have anything else you want to pick up on real quick, we can do that.
That's the one I really wanted to touch on. That was the Good to Win episode.
Yeah, that's the 8th episode, and it's probably the highlight, which is saying something, but there's a few kilos, like, when we get the focus on Love Her Queen and her whole thing, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But one of the things that happens in the last couple episodes, I can't get into it too much, but it involves the character of Bash.
I was going to ask you about that because Bash really, it was something very similar to Sam, where they were kind of like outrageous in the first season, and they kind of scaled them back and made it a little bit more human in the second season.
Yeah.
And then Bash kind of like went over the cliff in this one. For a good reason, though, but it still was kind of, kind of odd.
Like, here's the thing I like about Bash. Season 1, he was terrible, but he was also very earnest at points, and you could see he was ultimately a good person.
Right.
He had problems connecting. He had a lot of issues.
Yeah, he really had social anxiety. You could tell.
One of my favorite parts in season 1 is when he sticks up for Carmen when her dad and brothers wanted her to like quit, and he's willing to go to elaborate, and he never like complains when he has to like kiss her or anything. You know what I mean?
No, he goes along with the flow. He's a team player, really.
Yeah. He's and like they actually form a nice friendship, and I was like, it'd be interesting to see where that goes in season 2. Well, it didn't go the way I thought it was going to go.
No, not at all.
But it went to, because one of the most uncomfortable but well done things in season 1 involves an abortion.
Yeah.
Like, they never really talk about it, but like it's clear that's what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
They have a very similar thing happen in season 2.
Yeah.
With another heavy topic. Like, it's, well, sort of. Parts of it aren't so heavy, but are still, important. And then parts of it are pretty damn heavy, which we don't want to get too much into, because I don't want to, like, if I say the word, people will instantly understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
But it really showed how well Chris Lowell plays Bash.
Mm-hmm.
After this performance, how the hell is he not going to be a main cast member next season?
Really. I didn't know he wasn't a main cast member already until I looked at it. I thought he was main. I really did.
Yeah. I know. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, he's great, and like, especially, I think it's the end of the 9th episode where the big reveal happens, and it just destroys. Like, it's understandable for it's understandable why it destroys him.
Right. No.
Oh man.
No, but going on to something a little bit lighter when it comes to Bash, I loved his tactics in trying to sell G.L.O.W to other producers and other networks.
Oh yeah, that's true. I was thinking so much about the final couple episodes. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was such a great. That was a perfect example why Bash's character is awesome, because just seeing him going around trying to hobnob and just be so nonchalant about it, but then still be so incredibly nervous that he can't even answer the phone properly.
I also just loved, like, in season 1 when he was the commentator. He's like, and one of my favorite things is when he says the beatdown biddies.
Yeah.
We didn't really touch on them, but even they have something going on this season.
Yeah. We had some odd transformations too. That was pretty awesome. I love it.
Yeah. But I had to really touch on Bash.
No,
I think...
definitely. Bash definitely needed a spotlight, because it wasn't on the season as much as he was last, but I think he was one of those characters that actually had the amount of screen time that he made a lot more important moments. It felt like he had a character arc more so than a lot of other characters that were important in season 1 and kind of got downgraded in season 2 for TV time.
Yep. So, I don't know how much more we have to say about the season.
No, I love it. I think it's one of those examples of a great follow-up season. It's one of those ones that season 1's really good, season 2 is even better. So if you enjoyed season 1, definitely check it out. You will not be disappointed. There's a lot more wrestling. Not as many wrestler cameos, but the ones that do show up are pretty good. Great music, great costume design, and all the characters, even for the little time that they had specifically, did a great job. I cannot give this more of a, pun intended, glowing review.
Yep, absolutely. No, it's a fantastic show, and it's good you touched on the music, because it's got a pretty good soundtrack in both seasons. And of course, season 2, what do they include? Oh, just classics like Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now, Chapel of Love, You May Be Right.
And then they were actually smart about certain things. Like one episode had a real dark moment, and there was just silence. It was kind of weird because you're so used to having such a great song ending that episode, and then you had this episode ending in complete silence.
Yeah, they were really good at that.
Yeah, very good.
But
I guess we're going from what we've talked about, actors trying to become wrestlers. So now I guess we're going to a wrestler that became an actor.
Yeah, really good actor.
Yeah. He's all right.
No, I genuinely think
he's
with
done
the right
okay
material,
for himself. He's done okay for himself.
He's only the highest grossing leading man in Hollywood. He's surpassed Will Smith. I just want to point that out. So much for being fresh, Prince. So we're talking about The Rock, because of course we are. Because what do you mean The Rock has more than 2 movies coming out this year? Of course he does. So, The Rock's latest movie is Skyscraper.
Yes.
Which is billed as Die Hard meets Towering Inferno, but is really more Towering Inferno meets Skyscraper, the 1994 movie starring Anna Nicole Smith.
Oh, yeah!
So it's essentially a remake where they decided to add fire.
Oh man, that is such a great comparison.
It's literally got the same name.
Yes.
I didn't want to lead in. I didn't want to confuse people by actually calling it a remake from the get-go, but I was tempted to say, now we're going to talk about The Rock's latest movie, a remake of the 1994. I still don't think that's the right year. I just had to point out that was a thing. So this is another collaboration between The Rock and Rawson Marshall Thurber.
Yeah, Thurber. Yeah.
Who previously directed Central Intelligence, and he also probably the film. He also did We're the Millers, which was entertaining enough, and Dodgeball, the true underdog story.
Yeah, that's all.
Hilarious in 2004. Hasn't aged the best, although it's still aged okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a comedy guy.
Jokes
He's a comedy guy.
Look, in 2004, it was a lot easier to make a gay joke and get away with it.
Yeah.
Like, if you go look back to a lot of comedies back then, oh man. In this case, so Skyscraper is, as I said, very much a combination Towering Inferno and the 1994 films. I'm not even going to look up if that's the right year anymore. But the Anna Nicole Smith Skyscraper film. And that The Rock plays Will Sawyer, which I just got to say, Don't buy that as his name.
No, not at all.
It feels like a more generic McHero name, and if they were trying to actually remake Die Hard, that would mean something.
Right.
But in this case, he's a FBI hostage rescue team veteran, as well as a war vet. So, he's awesome.
Yeah.
But
We've heard this story before when it comes to The Rock, as early as Rampage.
I know, this is what I'm saying. But in this case, he's not also a master of communicating with apes. He's got one leg.
Yes, he got in a situation where his leg got blown off.
Yep.
And we find that out at the beginning of the movie. So throughout the movie, Will is an amputee.
Yeah, which does come up more than I thought it would.
Yeah, which is amazing because I'm not going to spoil too much, but I'll just tell you right now, Will with one leg is a lot stronger than Will with both legs.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's still The Rock playing a rock character.
He's more rock with one leg than two, which is amazing.
With the realism switch not always turned to the on position. When they turn it to the so when the realism switch is on, it's actually pretty interesting,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes you think, oh, maybe they are going to try and make a new Die Hard. But then they turn it to off, and you're like, nope, never mind.
Nope.
Which isn't to say it's a bad thing, but it does, because the film, okay, so there's a Hong Kong building called the Pearl,
Right.
225 stories, basically like a cruise ship / city within a city.
I was about to say it's like a mini city.
What do they call it? What do they call that big block city thing in the Dread movie?
Oh crap! I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Mega City 1, or was that something? Or is Mega City 1 just like the name of the area, and then that was something else?
I think it was the area.
Yeah. I'd have to. That'd be a whole thing.
Yeah. We got to talk about Skyscraper here.
Yeah, we
not the Anna Nicole Smith version.
No, we really can't do that. It's kind of hard and kind of easy at the same, because like there's a lot of really cool visual stuff in this one.
Oh yeah.
Which keeps it from being boring, and of course The Rock is still charismatic as hell.
Because it doesn't take long before the action starts when it comes to what The Rock has to accomplish.
No, because I mean, like we can spoil this because like we keep mentioning Towering Inferno. They set the 96th floor on fire.
Yes.
And they're taking over everything above that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you've seen the poster or the analysis of the posters, which I still get a chuckle out of every time. What, you expected movies to have realistic posters? If the Beatles weren't allowed to actually spell out help in semaphore on top of the album Help, you really think The Rock is going to be given a realistic jump angle to enter the building?
Yes.
That was a weird pop culture reference to take it, but yes. I just thought of it on the fly. There, I've just dropped some Beatles trivia on you.
There you
go. Yeah, so he has to climb a frickin' crane and then jump over the fire line on the 96th floor.
Yes. With
one good leg.
Yes.
And one leg that's doing the best it can, we appreciate its work. Oh, man.
And don't forget he can grab onto ledges with one hand without a problem.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
His grip strength is incredible.
Of course. Like, you imagine he does, like, the one-finger pull-ups.
Right, which is perfectly fine if it wasn't on a building that's crumbling and on fire.
I'm going to drop some rock climbing knowledge on you right now.
Okay.
Being able to do a one-finger pull-up, I believe that would qualify as a 5.14 on the rock climbing scale.
Wow.
If I'm remembering my limited rock climbing knowledge correctly. I do have some. I have done rock climbing before. Like when I skateboarded while I was falconing. Because I'm cool. But, yeah, so...
Oh, man, that's too good.
I gotta do it because, like, we can't really talk too many... Like, we can comment on, of course, The Rock is doing more superhuman physical nonsense.
Right.
But we love it.
Right.
I could watch him hurl torpedoes all day, man. He doesn't do that in this movie.
I mean, he's always a shining star in everything he puts a part in, even if it's something that's either average or ultimately forgettable.
Well, it's like San Andreas. It really wasn't that good, but,
no, but
when he parachutes with his ex-wife to the center to home plate in a baseball stadium and then makes a quip about taking her home. I'm just like, yeah. I'm entertained.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if this is better or worse than Rampage. They might be about the same.
I gotta say, I wish they would have flipped it. I wish this came out before Rampage.
Yeah?
Because of the absurdity of Rampage. Like,
that's true.
You know, I mean, this is crazy. Like, but this is almost like this could happen in a world where The Rock is awesome to this degree. Like, he's already awesome, but like this is superhuman awesome, and which is pretty much close to The Rock anyway. But still, it still felt kind of like grounded a lot more. It was a lot less humor. It felt like something that should have come out a lot earlier, especially compared to Rampage. Rampage is insane. That's a summer blockbuster insane. This was a solid action movie insane.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. Rampage might have been a bit better just because it was crazier.
Right. I mean, a flying wolf. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. And, like, the supporting cast was fine, but I think they were having way more fun in Rampage.
Yeah, that's another thing. I think the lack of humor, and that's why a lot of people were compared to Die Hard. Even with Die Hard, as serious as the situation was, there were still some injections of humor here and there. This was pretty much totally serious the whole way around. Like, the whole time, it was totally serious.
Well, yeah, even, like, the grim murder of a CEO in Die Hard had a pretty good joke.
Right.
You'll just have to kill me. Okay. It's like, and now Mr. Sorry, I need to try and do my best Alan Rickman in tribute. Mr. Takagi will not be joining us for the rest of his life. It's my best Alan Rickman. Rest in peace, big guy.
Yeah.
Nobody villains like Alan Rickman.
I know.
His first American film. Again, I'm dropping the trivia because is there really too much we can say about it? Like,
no,
it's,
I mean,
you know,
The Rock scales a flaming building.
Yeah, the perils there. You know, the villains have a motivation. It's not the worst motivation.
Having a son that has scene-appropriate asthma.
Oh yeah, right. Of course. You know what? That's good though. I like that they're drawing attention to asthma and don't put kids with asthma in burning buildings. That's just science.
Yeah.
And like they even kind of comment on the insanity of trying to parachute off a building that size. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they didn't just do it; they kind of commented on it.
Right.
Because like a bad action movie has the absurd happen and has no commentary on it whatsoever.
Yeah, no redeeming qualities when it comes to understanding how ridiculous what's going on.
Yeah, like this. Go ahead.
No.
I was gonna say this one's decently self-aware. It's just not having enough fun.
Right, that's the thing.
And of course, the set pieces are solid. They're really not that unique. Like the biggest draw is just the fact that the building's also kind of like a mall / village within a city type thing.
Shaped like a freaking DNA.
Yeah, that was kind of goofy. But why start now?
I just see like a good wind or her. I don't know, like just something weird. Just felt like that could easily that should be an architectural hazard. Like it just seems terribly designed.
Well, it seems like the right gust of wind will cause a sonic vibration that will shatter the whole building.
Yeah, that was a terrible looking design.
Or cause all the construction robots to run berserk.
But
that's the plot of Pat Labor the movie.
I think one thing we can spoil though is the fact that you should learn a lesson sometimes from something that's really catastrophic. Certain characters in this learn absolutely nothing.
It's true. I don't know how much we need to.
I'm just saying we will rebuild. That's it.
No, don't do it. Learn.
Why? Why? You saw what happened to the old one. Why would you think about rebuilding?
Well, we built the first castle, sank into the swamp. Second castle, sank into the swamp as well. Third castle, burned down, then sank into the swamp. But the fourth one stayed up. Again, this is the one problem. I want to comment on it, and it's a fun thrill ride. Rock is on point.
Right.
Nev Campbell is happy to be there and shows it. When was the last time we've talked about Nev Campbell?
I don't think ever.
Honestly.
I really can't tell you if even ever.
Like, I think her last major movie was Walter.
Wow.
Which I don't even remember.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, like, I think before that it was Scream 4, which was in 2011. Oh, man. That's not good.
No.
Oh, yeah, no, she was in House of Cards, though. Okay, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, when I saw her, because once again, I try to stay away from trailers. Like, I saw the posters, The Rock, it's a skyscraper. I get it. I don't have to watch too much to figure out what this movie's about. I had no idea she was in it. And when I saw it, I was like, what? That Nev Campbell?
Yep.
And
don't worry.
I tell you one thing, too, also, man, Rock is really getting into the whole, I have a biracial family.
Yeah.
He's not mixing it up. It's always a white woman. I'm just waiting for the day that Rock hooks up with an Asian woman on screen.
I want him to hook up with a man. I think it's time, and the world would accept it.
Oh, well, John Cena's already done it.
Yeah.
So John Cena beat him at something in movies.
Yeah, you want? I want the Hobbs spin-off Fast and Furious movie to have Hobbs and what's his name, Decker?
Oh yeah.
Finally make it official.
Okay, that sounds. We'll go with that. That's the one.
Jason Statham and The Rock.
Yes, that's the one.
And they adopt. I'm gonna go with one-armed but ever so keen 9-year-old redheaded girl as their daughter. And together they have to stop a car that can drive to the moon, where it'll unleash a mind control ray.
I was just
That's
saying.
The plot of.
No, I was thinking they're gonna blow up the sun, so you have perpetual night.
Oh yeah, then it will always be time to do night drag races.
Exactly.
Oh, this is what happens. I really hope people find this funny and aren't too annoyed that we're not really talking too much about the movie.
No, like I said, there's not much else we can talk about. It's a solid action flick. I think it should have out. It should have come out before Rampage. That's my thing. I think it was like Rampage.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, Rampage was a summer blockbuster. This is a fun, solid action movie. Once again, but they kind of have the same end result. You'll enjoy it for the time being, but the only problem is that you will not smile as much as you did when watching Rampage.
They should have made this the prequel to Rampage.
Yeah, really. It really should have been.
Like after everything that happens, like, you know what? I'm going to go learn to talk to apes.
Yeah, they should have done
Jane Goodall, get over here.
They should have done the Grindhouse deal. It just had like, okay, yeah, the first movie is freaking Skyscraper, and then intermission, then we have Rampage.
Or better yet, you take like the first half of Skyscraper, and then suddenly you cut to the second half of Rampage. and you see how many people think it's suddenly a slightly better movie.
Right. I don't remember that albino gorilla, but I sure like him.
Yeah, it's like, what happened to his family? I guess they burned down.
I guess they did. Now he's taking care of gorillas. So, that's why he's taking care of the gorillas. He has to cope with the loss of his family and that terrible skyscraper fire.
Yeah. Oh, now it's tragic. And that's why he didn't kiss his love interest in that movie.
Right, because he's still suffering from the loss of his family.
Oh.
And the only person the only thing that can understand him is George, his albino gorilla.
Now that we've said it, it must be canon. Make it happen. Good times. But yeah, no, it's still like, well, Ant-Man and the Wasp was great.
Right.
If you don't want a superhero movie, you just want something normal, like a massive building catching on fire and being taken over by terrorists, which compared to a man who can shrink or grow is still kind of normal.
Right.
Like, yeah, go for Skyscraper, but I mean, you can do better, but again, you can always do so much worse.
Yeah, I'm just telling you right now.
So much.
I'm just telling you right now. Tom Cruise is just grinning and saying right now, when Mission Impossible comes out, Rock, look at me. I'm a real action superhero.
See, I want them to fight now. I want to see that movie. Mission Impossible 7. Oh shit, it's The Rock. just sprinkle a little bit of Rock into your franchise.
I imagine see that was a part of the trailer. And you do an extreme close up of Tom's face, and he sees the rock coming down.
I know, it's just like it's like a parody trailer. It's like, you know, Ethan Hunt's in his office, and then like what's his nuts, freaking Simon Pegg goes over and he's like, Ethan, we have a problem. The world's in trouble again. It's like Benji, I've already saved the world like 6 times at this point, and that's just the times you know about. You really think that there's anything at this point? And then he stops, and like the television screen turns on, and you see the Rock standing there grinning. It's like a zoom, and then Tom Cruise goes, "Oh shit, it's the Rock." And it's like, that's right, Ethan Hunt. I'm just going to talk directly through you through this television to let you know it's finally time. And then they just ride at each other on motorcycles that are on top of those trucks that carry multiple broken down cars.
Right, yeah, just a trip.
That are in turn on top of ferries. So it's just like this weird vehicle on vehicle on
background.
What?
Oh, so with explosions going on in the background as they're going toward each other.
Yeah, get John Woo back to direct it. Yeah. Doves.
And then at the end, there's a dove and a drop of water coming off of a lily.
Yeah. And then Chow Yun-fat says, "No, don't fight."
Oh man, we have created the greatest movie ever.
Yep. All that's missing is like one of the vehicles to turn out to be a transformer.
Yes, that'd be the big twist at the end.
Yeah. That's the other thing. John Cena got into a Transformers movie before The Rock did.
Oh yeah, he's 2-0 right now. Rock's got some catching up to do.
Yep. Come on, man. First you gotta make out with another man, then you gotta show the robots who the real boss is.
Right.
Maybe at the same time.
Maybe.
I'd be down for that.
He's a multitasker.
Oh wait, what? Nah, I'm not gonna go there. I think it's time to wrap the episode up.
Skyscraper, the movie. Go see it if you want to see a nice little action flick, but you don't care about remembering what you saw an hour later.
I don't remember the name of the terrorist.
You know what? I'm not even joking. When I was watching, let me just say this real quick. I'm not even joking. Watching it, I was starting to think like half an hour after they were revealed. I was wondering, why in the world are they even doing this?
Yeah.
I was really confused about their motives, and I'm like trying to remind myself what I just saw.
Yeah, it's not the weakest motivation, but it's not the strongest either.
No, not at all. No. It's just a reason to get the Rock on the side of a flaming building.
Yeah.
That was their motivation. They wanted to see this one-legged man, see if he could climb a burning building. That was the real motivation.
It's extortion rackets, mobster stuff, and they're worried that somehow the money won't be legitimate after they extorted it. I mean, the villain's name is Kors Botha.
Yeah.
I kept thinking his name was Cars.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's fine. But, yeah, on that note, thank you for being here today, James.
Oh, man, I'm just happy now because we created the best action movie ever.
Yep. All we need to do is set it during, like, the birth of Jesus, and we'll have the greatest story ever told.
Again.
Impossible. I'm sure that won't offend anyone. But until next time, folks, always remember, just believe and you can jump over anything.